Hi guys, the Benidorm Enthusiast here. For today's video, we're bringing you a monthly guide to Benidorm, part 1. I often say you could come to Benidorm 6 or 7 times a year, maybe even more, and have a completely different holiday each time depending on the time of year that you come. We also see posts on our Facebook group pretty much daily asking what's the weather like at such and such a time, is it busy, is everything open? So today we're going to be going through the first few months of the year and hopefully answering all these questions for you. We'll be going through weather averages, the general atmosphere in Benidorm and any major events that take place month by month. We'll continue this string of videos with another instalment in a few weeks and again until we've covered the whole of the year. So starting with January, which is obviously a winter month, and as such it's a quiet month and one of the coldest months. After New Year, which gets very busy here in Benidorm, we have one more celebration before the festive season ends and things settle back to a normal routine. That celebration is the Three Kings, a massive part of Spanish Christmas celebrated on the 5th and 6th of January. The evening of the 5th is when you'll see parades in every town in Spain showing the Three Kings or the Three Wise Men arriving. Then the 6th is essentially Spanish Christmas, when people exchange their gifts. Benidorm's Three Kings parade is colourful and extravagant and the resort is very busy at this time. Many international tourists who come for New Year often stay for the Three Kings as well. And of course there are tens of thousands of tourists from other parts of Spain who spend this time of year in Benidorm with their families. After the Three Kings, the resort does go a little quiet and some bars close for their winter break. In the new town British tourist area, it's mainly the late night party bars or nightclubs that close for winter, as there tends to be an older crowd in January who aren't out all night going wild. But some of the cabaret clubs do take a winter break as well. There are still plenty of bars open. It's not a total shutdown by any means, as happens in other resorts. During the day there's a lot more going on, especially over the Rincon de Loix side of the new town where there are more long stayers. Entertainment in bars starts earlier in the afternoons to optimise the warmer hours of the day, and there are plenty of places still open to eat out. The beachfront areas get busy still, with an international crowd enjoying the terraces through the day, and the old town has life pretty much all year, being the town centre where people enjoy the shops and tapas bars. But again, the nights are quiet. Being a winter month, it is one of the coldest of the year. It's not sunbathing weather for me, but you do still see plenty of people on the beach, as you can see behind me right now. Generally, we have lots of sunshine still in January, and it's a pretty dry month too, with just a few days of rain. Average peak daytime temperatures are mid to high teens throughout January, so if you find a sun trap, you can sit out comfortably in shorts and t-shirt. But don't expect many swimming pools to be open, and you'd have to be very brave to go in the sea. The nights get very cold, often single figures, and as soon as the sun sets you really feel the drop in temperatures. So bring some warm layers for the nights. If you're looking for a bargain breakaway, you can get some great deals in January. It's a really cheap time to come because it's out of the main season, and it's a great time if you don't like crowds or exceptionally hot weather. You're in for a relaxing holiday if you choose January. Think more sipping sangria at sunset than downing Jaeger bombs till dawn, and you're on the right track. February is much the same as January, with similar weather and a similar atmosphere. If anything, I'd say it can be a little colder and cloudier. Of course, the weather is never guaranteed wherever or whenever you go on holiday. Winters in Spain are hit and miss. You may get days like today, it's 19 degrees, sunny with a bit of cloud lingering. Very comfortable to be out and about, and I'd say this is a typical Spanish winter day. But you may not be so lucky. We do get the odd bad days. If you treat the weather as a bonus, you can't go wrong. As far as atmosphere and what's open, it's pretty much the same in February as January. There are a few events that take place in February, music and sports, which you may find interesting. At the end of January going into Feb, it's the Benidorm Fest. a music festival which decides who will represent Spain at the Eurovision Song Contest. This year, the opening of Benidorm Fest is on the 29th of January. The semi-finals are on the 31st and the 2nd of Feb, and the grand finale is on Saturday the 4th of February. In addition to the main events, a Benny Village will be set up throughout the week, a smaller version of the Euro Village where you can see all the Benidorm Fest galas on big screens and enjoy concerts by different artists. If you're a Eurovision fan, you'll be able to enjoy the atmosphere around town and may see some of the artists performing. Benny Soul is another music event which takes place in February. This year it's Thursday the 9th to Sunday the 12th of February. A celebration of Northern soul music where DJs and artists pack out the dance floors of the selected venues. Joker's Super Club being the main establishment involved. On the 26th of February this year, another musical event, Boys Live, are performing at the Benidorm Palace. This is not a tribute show, which Benidorm is of course famous for, but two of the original members of Boyzone and Westlife, Keith Duffy and Brian McFadden, who now perform together as Boys Life. A treat for any boy band fan. The Six Nations rugby tournament runs from the start of February through to March. Of course it's not held in Benidorm, but lots of rugby fans, especially the Welsh, come to Benidorm to watch the games. With lots of cheap deals for weekends away, plus cheap booze when you get here, and big screens to watch the games, and an added bonus of a bit of sun if you're lucky. That's about it for February, and as we get to March, this is usually when the weather starts warming up a bit, and there are some huge events in March too. The average peak temperature is closer to 20 degrees in March. You'll get some beautiful sunny days in the 20s and some cloudy days when it's not so warm. When it rains, oh it rains. We usually get a big annual pre-summer storm either in March or April when the rain is torrential for a few days. It's amazing to witness as the streets turn into rivers, but of course, if you've come on holiday for a break from the UK weather, you won't be impressed if you happen to get that bad week. Last year in March and April, it rained almost constantly for a good few weeks, but that was the worst I've ever known. It's never rained consistently for that long in the last 20 odd years that I've been here that I can remember. So let's hope that was a one-off. The nights are still cold in March as well. A hoodie, cardigan or jacket are definitely needed in the evenings. March is when the bars and restaurants, which close down for winter, start to open up again. Dates of reopenings vary from the start to mid-March, but there are three big events which almost always fall in the same week, and most places try and get open for these. The first on the calendar this year is the Cheltenham Festival. Wait, isn't that a horse racing meeting in England? Yes, of course it is. But it's another event which attracts tens of thousands of British and Irish to Benidorm to watch on our big screens. Going to Cheltenham itself is a pretty pricey affair, so many choose Benidorm to watch the races, where the drinks are much cheaper and you might even get a bit of sun. Almost every sports bar will show the racing, and many also have betting machines to place your bets. This year's Cheltenham starts on Tuesday the 14th of March, and the final day, Gold Cup Day this year, is Friday the 17th of March, which is of course also St Patrick's Day. St Patrick's Day in Benidorm is massive. The streets turn green, the bars turn green, even the beer turns green in some places. It's one big party. Fancy dress is a must. We just love a bit of fancy dress in Benidorm. It did rain last year, unfortunately, which put a little dampener on the start of the party, but as soon as the alcohol had been flowing for a while, people soon forgot about the rain, and a great day was had by all. This year, with it falling on a Friday, I'm pretty sure St Patrick's Day will turn into St Patrick's Weekend. It's going to be one to remember. At the same time as all this going on in March, we also have a Spanish fiesta, the Fallas Fiesta. The Fallas is a celebration in commemoration of San Jose or St Joseph. The main days are the 15th until the 19th of March. The fiesta represents new beginnings as we enter the spring. It originates from carpenters. When they would burn the wood they stood their candles on at the end of winter to celebrate the end of the dark. Every year, effigies are built representing political and social issues. They're often controversial and they aim to remind us in a light-hearted way of some cultural realities, difficult moments and scandals which we face in modern society. The effigies are huge and they're set up at different fires areas around the town. And on the last day of the fires, these effigies are burnt in an impressive closing ceremony. During the week of the Fires Festival, you can also expect parades, costumes and lots of firecrackers or big bangers known as mascletas. It's a noisy week. At the end of March, we can sometimes have Easter or Semana Santa, as it's called here in Spain. This year it falls in April, so we'll save that for the next monthly guide video, which will be part 2. Click that subscribe button so you don't miss any videos, guys. It doesn't cost you a penny to subscribe to our YouTube, and you won't miss a video if you click the bell as well. Let's see if we can get to 50,000 subscribers this year. Also, check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok at the Benidorm Enthusiast. Stay positive and stay safe.